Every year, our country has to face with a flood problem in certain state, and citizens must be wondering how and why flood occur. What are the parties involved, and what are their initiatives in mitigate the flood? Be ready, everyone, because soon we will discover and answer those questions that have been wondering in everyone's mind in this forum. Good evening and assalamu alaikum to everyone and welcome to our forum, The Last Week. Please be survived. It is an honor to have a distinguished panel of experts such as our climatologist that graduate from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, Professor Wan Nasrul MUHAIMIN. Please welcome to him. And we have a Muhammad Haris Zulfitrie, which is a environmental activist. We also have Dr. Aathif, a political analyst. And last but not least, we have our lecturer from Social Science Department, Dr. Adam Safwan, with us today as we delve into the critical aspect of flood management. So what are exactly a flood? What is exactly a flood? Pardon me. A flood is an overflow of water onto a normal dry land. It is a natural disaster that can result from various causes such as including rainfall, heavy rainfall, storm surge, rapid melting of snow or ice, this which typically happen in Antarctica, dam or leaf failures, or the accumulation of water due to the blockage or poor drainage system. Widespread, prolonged, and heavy rain causes a concentration of runoff that is significantly higher than the capacity of the stream and river, which cause flooding. Besides that, a storm produces a brief but a powerful downpour that has significantly overburdened the drainage system, leading to the isolated flash flood. Floods are not only a natural occurrence, but also a complex challenge affecting our community, infrastructure, and the environment. So, without wasting our precious time, I would like to ask to our esteemed climatologist Wan Nasrul. So, Wan, could you shed light on the primary cause of flood in Malaysia?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Arieff, for a very wonderful opening just now. Okay, for today's forum, all of you must have wondered why Malaysia often have floods. Almost every year, our country will encounter this disaster. Have you guys wondered why? Okay, before that, I want to ask a very simple question. Where is Malaysia located? It is located in the Southeast Asia and it is separated by the South China Sea. So, hello everyone, I am Professor Wan Nasrul, now working at the Malaysian Meteorological Department. I will share the main cause of flood in Malaysia is due to its location. From a thesis done by Nurul Afzan binti Musa, who is a student in the Faculty of Civil Engineering and Earth Resources at University Malaysia Pahang, she wrote that Malaysia experienced two distinct monsoons, the southwest and the northeast monsoon. The latter, particularly prevalent from November to March, will bring heavy rainfall. This phenomenon become a formidable force, especially for states along the east coast such as Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang. These areas bear the brunt of intense rainfall, leading to increased river discharge and inevitably floods. I recently read the news published by the Straits Times, which is on the 27th December 2023. It is said that Kelantan and Terengganu were the worst affected, accounting for more than 95% of evacuees. In addition, because of continuous rain over the past few days, a total of 13 rivers in 6 districts in Terengganu have exceeded the danger level. Thus, the main reason for the flood to occur in Malaysia is indeed because of the location that is included in the monsoon region, making Malaysia having heavy rainfall for a long period of time.
Thank you, Prof, for a beautiful thought on causes of flood in Malaysia. I would like to ask, are there any causes of flood besides during monsoon period?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Arieff. Of course, there are a lot of several reasons why flood occur in Malaysia. Okay, the next reason is the rapid urbanization and development in Malaysia have transformed land surfaces, often compromising natural drainage system. However, sometimes it is ineffective because of how the land was built or because there was too much drainage water during construction. Did you know? In a research done by Azizan, Shafi, and Yusuf, which is quite recent, on the 1st of June 2023, they explained that most flooding problems are caused by irrigation and drainage systems that are ineffective. The drainage system in Kuala Lumpur, which has been there since the city was built, is old and cannot handle water from heavy rainfall as well as it used to. So, most of the drainage system that already exists do not seem to work well because there is a lot of water flowing onto the road. Concrete has replaced the land, making the water absorption decrease. Consequently, our drainage system are overwhelmed during heavy rainfall, leading to localized flooding in urban areas. And the last reason is the enthusiasm for the development often translates to deforestation, particularly in pursuit of agricultural expansion and logging. I was reading some article about this topic and I encountered an article by Hussein and Ismail, which is very interesting to me. They stated that because of human excitement in development, it has opened a high vulnerability to the risk of major flood in Kelantan River Basin. They have done a research on the Kelantan River Basin for the last 26 years, and they found that changes in land use have caused frequent flood events to the area. The research strengthened the point that this human footprint dramatically alter ecosystem and reduce the natural capacity of forests to absorb and regulate water flow. The consequence is a higher vulnerability to major floods as the land loses its ability to buffer against the intensified rainfall. To sum up, I have talked about three causes of flood, which is the first one is location, second one, pure drainage system, and the third one, human activity. All right, it's time for me to step down, but don't be afraid. There are a more interesting topic waiting, and that will be explained by another amazing playlist. So, thank you so much for listening. Back to the moderator.
Thank you so much, Professor Wan, for sharing your thought on causes of flood in Malaysia. So moving on to the impact of flood. So as an environmental activist, Mr. Harris, what are the far-reaching consequences on the economy?
Thank you, Arieff, and thank you for having me in this forum. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Before we dive into our main discussion, I want you guys to take a moment and imagine what if you woke up one day to find your community submerged in water, homes and streets transformed into murky rivers. This idea evokes a sense of urgency and underscores the significance of our discussion today. These scenarios, unfortunately, are not merely hypothetical, but they represent the harsh reality faced by countless communities, especially in our country. Thus, today, I will be sharing some of many more impacts of flood that can be taken into our consideration. One of the most significant impact of flood is that flood may lead to a considerable toll on economies, causing extensive financial losses. To strengthen my point, in a news article published by The Star in November 2022, they reported that flood has cost 6.1 billion ringgit in losses in 2021, according to Department of Statistics Malaysia. This clearly shows that flood results in significant and staggering economic damage, which may affect the economic growth of a country. For instance, infrastructures, which are the backbone of any economy, are particularly vulnerable to flood damage. Roads, bridges, and buildings often require substantial funds for repairs and reconstruction. Besides, agricultural losses may occur due to flood, which may subsequently affect global food supplies. By this, it means that flood may destroy crops and livestock, affecting both local and international markets. In addition, businesses may suffer disruptions, leading to temporary closure or, in severe cases, permanent shutdown. Hence, it is very important for us to understand about the huge impact of flood on our economy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Haris. Can you share a specific impact where the aftermath of flooding to structural damage and social impact?
Thank you for the question, Arif. Ladies and gentlemen, I agree with moderator because while the economic impact of flood is significant, it is also crucial for us to zoom in on the next important impact of flood, which is the structural damage. Structural damage caused by flood encompasses not only homes and buildings, but also critical infrastructure such as dams, levees, and also transportation networks. Not only that, flood can also compromise the integrity of these structures, leading to failures with far-reaching consequences. Subsequently, without immediate repairs, this structural damage can disrupt essential services, including water supply, sanitation system, electricity, as well as telecommunications. Dear moderator and my fellow panelists, while we often highlight the economic and structural consequences of flood, we need to realize that the impact of flood extends far beyond that. Sadly, the social impact of flood is often overlooked, yet it is equally significant. Social impact of flood includes displacement, mental health issues, and strains on community resilience. For example, displacement plays a pervasive consequence of flood, with communities forced to evacuate temporarily or even permanently. Furthermore, the psychological toll of experiencing a flood is not to be underestimated. This is because individuals and communities may experience trauma, stress, and anxiety, which this, this thing can have a long-lasting effects on mental health. Moreover, rebuilding and recovering after a flood in terms of emotions is a complex process, and communities often face challenges in restoring normalcy. Ladies and gentlemen, to sum up my point, the impact of flood is multifaceted. It affects the economies, structures, and also communities in profound ways. Hopefully, by addressing the impact of flood, we can work together towards building more resilient and sustainable communities in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Haris, for sharing your thought and point of view about the impact of flood to our country. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go. Let's turn our attention to government initiative. As a political analysis, Dr. Aathif, could you share your insight into the proactive measures taken by the Malaysian government to mitigate floods?
Certainly, Mr. Arieff. Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to share with you today. But before I proceed with my point, I just want to state that I totally agree with what Mr. Harris has said just now. The economic consequences of flood extend beyond immediate damages, impacting the backbone of our economy, our infrastructures, and disruption to global food supplies due to agricultural losses. So it is not just about rebuilding, it is about safeguarding against future economic shocks. So today, what I would like to share with you is some fascinating insights into our Malaysia's government, which include the previous government and also the current one, initiative in flood mitigation. So feel free to ask any questions and engage at any time. So let us start with the first key aspect, which is Cebu dams. So you might heard this term for the first time. And what are Cebu dams actually? It is also known as check dam. So by definition, it is a dam-like structure with many gaps like a giant sieve. So these Cebu dams, they are strategically located along the rivers and also drainage channels to reduce water flow velocity. And this is very important in minimizing the risk of debris and mud floods stemming up due to deforestation. And also, a Cebu dam is designed to slow down the water current from the uphill to the lower river streams, as well as to trap any kind of debris during a water surge phenomenon. For instance, during headwater, or typically Malaysian call it as kepala air, this dam, Cebu dams function to trap any debris or things like timber, huge rocks that comes all the way uphill, and this will prevent those debris from polluting the rivers. Recently, I came across an article from The Star entitled Flood Management, a Long-Term Project, which was published on 14 November 2022. So it stated here that our former finance minister, who is Dr. Sri Tengku Zafrul Abdul Aziz, he, while tabling the supply bill in Dewan Rakyat, stated that for 2023, there are many projects to be awarded who incur an estimated expenditure of 700 million ringgit. And he highlighted one of the main projects include the Cebu Dam, with a cost of 562 million ringgit, covering 46 locations. So you imagine this, a Cebu Dam project costing a substantial 562 million ringgit, spread across 46 locations. Why? Well, it is about reducing the risk of debris and mud floods, and it is a critical measure prompted by the previous tragedies happened in Baling Kedah a few years ago.
Thank you, Dr. Aathif. And may I ask, what are structural measures and urban design that have been put in place to enhance the flood resilience?
Sure, Mr. Arieff. Aside from the one I mentioned just now, let us discuss about how structural measures and urban design innovations play a pivotal role in minimizing the impact of floods. So as we all know, like improved drainage, flood retention ponds, permeable parking lots, and also rainwater harvesting. These are some examples of the strategies in place, and these measures are designed to enhance rainfall absorption and at the same time to reduce rapid runoff. So recently, I came across an insightful journal by Sharika Tasnim entitled Review on Guideline Pertaining to Flood-Resistant Design for Residential Architecture in Malaysia and UK. So for instance, he stated that permeable pavement, or also known as porous pavement, it is a game changer in flood mitigating. So these pavers help to absorb water more quickly, and for a longer time, it will reduce the rapid increase in water flow. So by having these permeable surfaces, we can let the rainwater soak into the ground, and at the same time, we can help to treat water pollution. And for your information, this permeable pavement innovation design is already stated in Garis Panduan Perancangan Bandar Berdaya Tahan Bencana di Malaysia 2019. And indeed, these innovations are contributing significantly to our flood-resistant efforts.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aathif. I couldn't agree more with your point of view just now. So moving on to our next question to our lecturer from Social Science Department, Dr. Adam. So, Doctor, collaboration is a key in flood mitigation. So can you elaborate on the various parties involved in the addressing flood-related challenge in Malaysia, and how do they come together to work toward effective flood management?
Thank you very much, Dr. Arieff. Mr. Arieff, sorry. Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning to ladies and gentlemen. I extend my esteemed greetings to each of you today. So I really glad to be invited into this forum with the outstanding panelists, which is we have Prof. Wan Nasrul, Dr. Aathif, and Mr. Haris here. For the question asked by Mr. Arieff, I will delve into a matter of significant importance, the roles assumed by distinct entities in the mitigation of the profound impact of floods. In a departure from the conventional panel discussion, I will present a singular perspective focusing on the imperative of collaboration among residents, governmental bodies, and non-governmental organizations. First of all, let us first discussing about the role of the residents. The backbone of any community, residents play a crucial role in the mitigation of flood-related challenges. Their cooperation with public authorities is integral to resolving latent issues, including governmental capacity constraints and financial shortfalls. It is compulsory upon residents to actively engage and collaborate with the authorities to formulate a resilient flood management strategy. So on the other hand, the central to flood mitigation effort is the government with its substantial capacity to influence outcomes. Strategic investment in infrastructure development and maintenance serve as the linchpin for preventing or reducing the impact of floods. Under the brilliant leadership of Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, our government has devised a comprehensive long-term flood mitigation plan spanning from 2023 to 2030, accompanied by a substantial financial commitment of 15 billion ringgit. This strategic vision underscores the government's unwavering commitment to fortifying our communities and shielding our nation from the undesirable effect of floods. Lastly, at the forefront of immediate humanitarian response, non-governmental organization, we call it as NGO, simplified by entities like YOSH, My Fund Action, and My Kasih. Their instrumental role in providing emergency supplies, shelter, and medical aid to flood-affected communities is crucial. The expeditious and targeted interventions by these organizations make a palpable and positive difference in the lives of those grappling with the immediate aftermath of flooding. So, to conclude all of my points, mitigating the impact of floods necessarily needs a concerted, collaborative efforts from residents, the governments, and NGOs. Each entity assumes a unique role in this endeavor, and through collective action, we can fortify communities to confront the challenges posed by floods with resilience and efficacy. I extend my sincere gratitude for your attention. Thank you. Then I will pass it back to our respected moderator, Mr. Arieff.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adam, for such a enlightening point of view just now. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up our forum today, I want to express a sincere gratitude to our beloved panelists for sharing their expertise and insight. The discussion on the causes, impact, party involved, and government initiative in flood mitigation has been enlightening. This is not just a conversation, but a collective effort toward building a more resilient Malaysia. Thank you to our panelists once again, and thank you to our audience for your engagement. Let's continue working together for a safer and more secure future. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.